nami. You just have my brain out. I wanna be like this, but this love cannot be like this. I wanna make my wife, but this world cannot allow us. Wamja luki fako hulo yelaka, wanjendefo chimbele lenganga, wanjongelo lukupo, wongaleza omukombe. Kimba ningi talavala nigo, hachi ninge halo yoko mutima. Ole njenga ilo mukungu, mutima woyenga uningo nganda yanje. Njoka taleko mimena tate, njoka taleko yaka nombange, njoka noma veleko njoka talengere yanje. Yeah, tele, uno vine ya nami, you dey give my heart oh. Tele, uno vine ya nami, you just have my brain out. Golo njibale, imbatalele mavala, mufuko nangu mbanepele. Ah yeah, imbatalele vondunge. Katutule mene tupete, owafuko na tuolo wole. Bali junda pa hijaleme, kuwanjisa konganda, ontwala kolukanda. Lili omutima wakukuta, imbe yolo ojelimba kekeza. Taka mithaku na wenda keti kuliambule. Taka mithaku za pame ngunjiloka, umo ihoka, kuno kwenye. Deli pepe langu heile kuchihani, omurwa kuheile kuvimbanda. Tele, uno vine ya nami, you dey give my heart oh. Tele, uno vine ya nami, you just have my brain out. Tele njipo mutima woye, tele njipo mutima woye, tele njipo mutima.
If it happened on the road, or a shady corporate wardroom that you weren't supposed to know about, we on it.
General, embadida nandi bumbo kuti kwa moexe, sta trek bra. Ame chasima na bis de kutengo suplexa.
Matuno matuti, empungula simpepe, walo kutane nage, okay yulu rei pepe, walo kuyage meyo, amono katirefe, oh si shokuninga, wafenga mototana, osiveli osema, okangelo lakela, ondamona usaka, tukalonge fikama, now bounce that thing, go to wide and slowly, I'ma give you funds if you take it to your peak. If you take it to your peak,
Ame chasima na bis de kutengo suplexa. Simana insane. Amina veuli apa, you know we not the same.
Genga Chashimana Beast. Hey.
Dis die tweede keer wat ons die ou luister, nee. En dis die tweede song wat ons die ander dag. Moro, Kaufman.
Lekker catchy, ne?
It's very, very catchy. What a cool song. And yeah, Alvin, thank you so much for tuning in this morning. Welcome to the morning mix. Is it J? Oh, okay.
Ek dink dit afgesit.
Stefanus, James Ananias, Moro Panevel, Moro DJ Kofi, Moro Mitch, Valentino as shines. Da is away, shines Moro top fans. Stefanus, James, Moro Franco, Jose. Production of Earthling has commenced. The population will be expected to increase by 3% from November 2022. Blessings from the heavens for the good rain. I think, Franco Jose, it's a little bit probably more than 3% this year. Because population growth per annum is probably around 3-4%.
Right.
That's if I look.
Year.
Yeah, per year. Because
But if it rains in Namibia, people stay in bed longer.
hello, and that is what Franco Jose is trying to say.
Is he saying that in September?
Yeah, November.
Kijk, as ons mos nou geshuffle het in Februarie, dan is ons mos nou...
Klof het.
Ja, then by November, we're going to have... we'll be seeing a Namibian population explosion.
No.
Yes.
Ons gebruik kondome, Neville. Ons gebruik kondome.
Come on.
We use condoms.
No, you
we
don't.
Won't.
No, we don't.
40!
No, we don't.
We must actually, I think people must have this, like at schools, high schools, they must have this sex education thing.
Of course they do.
I know.
We don't have it at our
It
high
was.
schools. We
Great.
just have that biology thing.
No, grade 11 biology class, chapter 8. I remember it.
No, but I mean like in other countries, they like have a class for just sex education. Like,
Nee.
boom, yeah.
Like klof.
Klof. Vra vir Esther Mitchie. Die kinders gaan met vibrators.
Don't these people have internet? You can get your sex education off the internet.
Born up.
I think
or
we
whatever.
use a lot of condoms here in Namibia. We don't. Our population is be the same.
I think okay, Kaufi, from here henceforward,
Yes.
if we speak on the stream, if you hear black people talk about 40 for trust, nee.
Right.
If you hear the saying 40 for trust, dan moet jy weet they talk about unprotected sex.
Ons kyk op God.
Yeah.
Okay.
We trust. Yeah. Ons gaan, want die ding lyk lek. Hey, moet toch nie so namma slurp nie. Jarr.
I was waiting for that. I was really
No,
waiting.
you were not waiting for it. Yeah, you forgot. Yeah.
Never.
Wat 'n slaai het jy in jou tee?
Het is
Ja, kyk daar so.
Is Christomin.
regte namma.
Het sê
Christementie.
Christomin yung kono mo dai.
Ah, maar die-
Christomin ka bo. Christomin ro ikede ko ko kar. Tau aku ap gini ba. Dog never.
Allemaal so door die world heen. Ja. So, if you hear 40, as jy hoor ouens praat rondom jou. Ja. Ouens, julle moenie 40 gaan vanaand nie asseblief.
Dan
Means
weet
that
ek.
Don't go and have
Unprotected sex.
It's not 40 kilometers per hour. It's unprotected sex.
Ja, so, ja. So nou weet jy.
Ja.
Weet jy, as hierdie Duitsers saam met ons, if you gonna be hanging with
With you
us
guys,
long enough,
like I do now, I will be educated by the time we finish.
die Duitsers gaan jou
Klof.
afskryf.
Ja, ek dink so.
Because
I think
be using these
I think I'm
words,
going to
man.
move to
Klof,
the
klof.
other side.
Why did Coffee cross the road?
yeah, because Mohau was there. Guys, good morning. Franco Jose, it was written last year in the Etiti that Central Windhoek will have good rain.
Yes.
Môre Koffie, môre Nefs en ja, môre Stompie. Wat's 'n beef het jy en Mitch met mekaar?
Ek weet, daar's something brewing there.
Het 'n kondoom gebars of wat? Ek sê net vir ons wat gaan aan. Morning Maria Aziz, good morning. A condom doesn't go well with rain. Klof, klof, vlees tot vlees. Here Franco Jose. Jy het nie maniere nie. Jo. Neville kan ons toch lekker koffie loop drink oor Arsenal se wen. My skat, Natalie. Ja, ons het gewen gisterand.
Teen wie?
We beat a team that has been clobbering us for the longest time. And this is Wolves we're talking about. Wolves is not an easy team.
It was an easy team back then. You know that. They were always regulated.
Yeah.
But relegated. And the first time I saw Wolves even win the top 5 in the Premier League, I got like, what? En de Jetmans gaan nou aan. Hulle het even vir ons gewen.
Yeah.
Liverpool beat Leicester City.
They beat Leicester City 2-0.
And Aston Villa and Leeds United drew 3-3.
3-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the fight for top 4 is really heating up at the moment in the Premier League. Once again with Arsenal, their destiny is in their own hands, but the squad is very thin. I don't think they're gonna keep that momentum. It was a tough game last night.
Yes.
Guys, I would like to give you guys a heads up. There was a strong request yesterday morning by our viewer. I'm not too sure if he is a viewer of the morning mix, but we're talking about Dilokelwa Ntengwe, who did make the statement about the morning mix, etc. And what Dilokelwa was asking me, I don't know where he got my number from, but he did send me a text message and a WhatsApp just to make sure that the message get to me by asking, Neville, I would love to appear on your show. I would like to declare myself as to what my issue is with gay and lesbian bashing, etc. So we will have her in the studio this morning as from 9 o'clock, and it's going to be and we're also going to have probably Miss Mavis, ons vriendin will also be here as from 9 o'clock. So we're going to have a nice lekker engagement as to the differences or stuff that we don't seem to understand about, the community. And as julle vrae het om te vra, please ask the questions. We obviously going to have hopefully a very robust debate here in the studio with the two of them. Obviously with and bring your A game this morning.
Yes.
To all of you listeners and viewers out there, let's not be insulting. But let's.
But if you've got something to say, say it.
Say it. Yeah.
I mean, don't hide or feel any way weird or say it.
Yeah. Say it. And we're obviously gonna try to be, within the framework of saying what we want to say. Try to obviously remain respectful. But then again, I think it's important that you guys, veral jy Duitser, wat obviously baie konservatief is oor hierdie klas van dinge.
Ek is eintlik glad nie so conservative. I think I'm the more liberal German amongst the German community. Vra hulle die vrae, okay? Ek gaan ook die vrae vra. Kan vra of hulle fotty doen. Ja, ek het mos nou geleer by julle.
Never. We should stop telling Kofi this stuff.
Kan jy Kalfie se gesig sien? Luister.
Ernstig.
Gaan julle fotie. Oei. Hierdie nice weather dryf 'n man. Wat? Hierdie nice weather dryf 'n man na drank toe. Ja. Franco Jose, the only problem I have with gay men, their tendencies singing loud in the street and wearing miniskirt. That is too much for men to endure. It's for you too much. Franco Jose.
We'll be talking about noise pollution in the news. We'll be talking about noise pollution in the news.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
My neighbors know my name.
I've got a juicy news item this morning.
Here we go.
Monte News. Monte News. Firm but fair.
This is Informante Live, and these are our top stories. President Geingos has been a member of the Oceans Panel since 2018 and will deliver a statement regarding Namibia's vision of global governance of the oceans with President Emmanuel Macron of the French Republic and the President of the Council of the European Union, H.E. Charles Michel. President Geingos will then go to Brussels in Belgium for the 6th African Union-European Union meeting, which will take place from the 17th to the 18th of February. The 2022 AU-EU Summit presents an opportunity for a renewed and deeper AU-EU partnership as African and European leaders meet to determine joint priorities and better coordination for their common future, the President's spokesperson Dr. Alfredo Hengari stated. The 2022 AU-EU Summit aims to mobilize the international sector to support Africa's economic recovery. The summit will also focus on agriculture and sustainable development, financing post-COVID-19 economic recovery in Africa, digital inclusion, peace and security, the ongoing pandemic, and also climate change. The Tanidare parish of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in the Republic of Namibia in Katatura's Soweto area has been rocked with scandal after its pastor Willem Colin Klute was arrested and remanded in custody for rape this week. The suspect is charged with 2 counts of rape and is alleged to have raped an 18-year-old girl since 2020. Nampol's Deputy Commissioner Kauna Shikwambe said Klute was arrested on the 7th of February 2022. Shikwambe said the alleged rapes took place in Windhoek and that Klute appeared in the Katatura's Magistrates Court on the 8th of February 2022. He was remanded in custody until the 8th of February. And finally, Tsumeb residents have requested intervention by the Namibian police and town leadership to put an end to noise pollution caused by shebeens and bars in the town. They said the persistent situation is causing major disturbance day and night to residents and learners who are trying to study. The residents have also complained about the mushrooming of shebeens in town, with very few abiding by the operating hours put in place. Currently, bars are allowed to do business from 9 in the morning until 2200 hours, while others have licenses to operate until midnight. Club owners are expected to close their establishments by 3 in the morning. In response, the Tsumeb municipality urged community members to submit a signed petition with regards to noise pollution to be able to address the matter accordingly and on merit. Your Trustco share price today, the 11th of February, is at $1.33 per share. Taking a brief look at the financial indicators, the Namibia dollar is trading against the US dollar at 15 Namibia dollars and 30 cents, against the euro at 17 Namibia dollars and 40 cents, and against the British pound at 20 Namibia dollars and 60 cents. This is Informante Live, and these were our top stories. You can find more on our website, which is informante.web.na.
Monte News. Monte News. Monte News. Firm but fair.
I would like for my mother's community to go the same way as the Tsumeb community, because my mother stays right in front of Katatura Grootwinkels.
Ooh, okay.
Now, I keep on telling you guys that, you know, my daughter loves to be at my mother's house over weekends.
Yes.
Koffie, daar sal ek nou by my ma sit en kuier. And by 11 o'clock at night, the music is so loud. in my mother's house. From
Grootwinkels.
the grootwinkels, there are 3-4 bars next to each other. And there's a house next to my mom. On the right and on the left, almal speel hulle eie amapiano, whatever it is that they are playing, that ras. Ek vra vir my ma, hoe slaap ma in hierdie plek in? My kind, wat moet ek maak? Tot 2 uur, 3 uur moet ek dan raak ek eers aan die slap. And it doesn't help to call the police.
Because the police, does the police do something or do they do nothing?
Hulle kom ry verby en dan sien jy ene gaan daar in en daar kom hy met 'n bier self uit. Klim in die kar.
Nee man.
Ja, so.
Yeah. So Tsumeb residents, please have a little bit more respect for thy neighbor. So what do you think of this evangelical Lutheran church pastor, Willem Colin Kluter, who was arrested on rape?
Kyk nee, ek het again, you know, when I read the article yesterday, that is van die Tanitare gemeente.
Right.
Is die Tanitare gemeente, Lutherse kerk. I was just saying once again, you know what? It showed again how fallible everybody is. And if he is guilty, dan moet hy kry. Okay? Yeah. It shows you once again that if it is so that he allegedly did rape or whatever, this is not something that is endemic to the Catholic Church or the Pinkster happy clappy churches or whatever.
Or the 7-day.
The 7-day what, it happens all over. So, let the law take its course. And if he's guilty, laat hy kry. Yep. If he's not guilty, please show us that you're not guilty.
I get a feeling that we're going to be talking about him again.
At
some stage.
Ons sal oor hom praat. Grootwinkels Chronicles, sê Mutumba, net so. In line with the SWAPO president's objective, Mos. Wat loop Michi so op en af? Vra vir hom. What do you mean, Mutumba? Are you guys training again? Sê vir ons, iewers moet die pastore se roelboek ook geskryf word. Hoeveel kinders moet nog verkragt word voor daar iets
gebeur?
Iets ek het nou die iets gebeur, okay. Die mense Zula terwyl julle slaap, sê Rob dat Don Hunter, Raymond Basson, hierdie Vrydag is die strysoekdag met die Mavutu. So that I can't buy anything for Valentine's.
Yes, and remember that competition is still running for Valentine's, no?
Tranquility Wellness Center.
Yes, 50% discount Tranquility vouchers. All you have to do is tag your Valentine and hashtag Valentine in the comment section.
So at the end of this show, I think as we come towards the end of the show, hierdie mense moet tag en hulle moet name gee.
Yes.
Nee? Seems like a tragedy that was in motion already. Relevance mission accomplished, given the selective context detailed on the show yesterday. This is what Kunint Lovo says. Even the weather agrees that we should be talking about different love-making positions. Raak ernstig, gents. Sê vir ons. So 'n sterk topic of a heavy mooi Vrydag. Dit hoef nie 'n sterk topic te wees nie. And because we're not here to fight or whatever. Okay? Bomgaai in relationships, sê Rovera. Gays, lesbians, heterosexuals, everybody have bomgaais in relationships. So I don't know if there's any difference, because I'm respecting, or we should be able to respect everybody's. Klof preferences. So van preferences gepraat, Kalfie. Voordat jy by die corona kom, gee eers vir ons die weer. Sê vir ons, want ek wil vir jou sê, Kalfie. I was telling my colleagues this morning as I walked in here. I just want to go home now. Daar wil ek 'n moerse vuur gaan maak. Ek wil net 'n vuur maak. I just want to make a fire. Daar wil ek net so sit in 'n pot maak en net so sit
Rustig
en net
wees.
rustig en kyk en so.
But tomorrow Saturday, you can do
Nee, you know how this bullshit works, Koffie. Die son skyn môreoggend 6:00.
Hey, oh Nev, dit is altyd so. Huh? Weekends are there for us to rest, but we don't.
We don't.
We rest on Monday.
Ah, well, I'll be wide awake by 5 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Always like that.
Except
always
for
like
you. Except for you. Koffie?
that. Okay, as far as the weather is concerned, the Informante is reporting that the...
What did you just say?
Recording something.
Recording?
Yeah, it was...
Jy is te veel met swart mense.
You see the influence. So the Oanguena region once again reported the highest rainfall, with Inana reportedly receiving 40.5 millimeters of rain on Thursday, according to the Namibia Meteorological Service. While Oanguena received significant rainfall, it is not the only region. Travelers in Irongo shared photos of Spitzkoppe River flowing. Have you seen those photos, Neville?
No.
It's fantastic. For those of you who are on Facebook and the internet, go and check it out. The Spitzkoppe River was flowing. And seems the rain has shifted to that side this year. One person commented. In the Oshikoto region, Namatoni and King Koluma village received 19 millimeters and 8 millimeters respectively. Then Okahanja in the Ochizunjupa region recorded 10.6 millimeters, and Uchu in the Kunene region recorded 10.4 millimeters. And we're still getting quite a couple of results in. For example, in Komas, Bergvlug, Windhoek, and Klaratal Farm, they all recorded 27.3, 17.8, 8.9 millimeters respectively. Riobot received 6.4 millimeters, Mitch, and Maltoya recorded 0.6 millimeters, and Aranos 0.1 millimeters.
Wat gaan aan in die syde?
Aranos, jong, julle het seker nog 'n bietjie reën daarso nodig.
Wambus het besluit, julle sal nie reën kry nie.
Maybe the Wambus took the rain.
Yeah.
They're controlling everything.
Kini, umlilo. What's happening with umlilo in South Africa? What? Please explain to us. What's the issue with umlilo? Okay. Mwalalapo, I'm following from Guinas. Omsi kwa Elia. Morning. Ja, Natalie, he kom vandag. Mutumba says on Twitter, once you are in the telescope of the LGBTQ community, they are relentless. Talking about relentlessness, how relenting is the coronavirus?
The coronavirus is behaving.
Is behaving.
Very much. So the active cases currently in Namibia is 3,470. So ons kom af.
Ons kom up and up.
Newly confirmed cases 48. In the meantime, we've recovered another 746 deaths due to coronavirus. 2 days ago, we were at 4. So 4 deaths due to coronavirus 4 days ago. And if you'd like to know the maximum temperatures for the day, in Windhoek today maximum, it's going to be a nice cool 26 degrees, Walvis Bay with 27, Swakopmund with 26. Then in Katima Mulilo 29, and in Okahau 28, looking at Umusia and Ondangwa today 30 degrees. Then in Ochivarongo 28 degrees, and in Riobot 26, with Mariental at 33 and Keetmanshoop at 34. Gobabas and Peterpos both 29 degrees today. Maximum temperatures for the day.
Excellent. Everything is burning. Strategic institutions burning. Just woke up to news of another fire in Durban. Yo, wat gaan aan, my bro? Kenny, what is going on? Dis Vrydag. Estomisch. Good morgen allesamen. Vasker i dag. Neville, Dit jou vrijdag met de horen namens uit.
I don't know what that means.
What the hell that means? Okay. Tibratse. Sit jy toch daar, laat sy hierdie kan sit asseblief. Ja.
Vat jou slide aan.
Ja. Ja, roep haar toch in, so that we can quickly start having a discussion. Yes, now you even nominated our guest now as Mogo of the Week. Hier, laat ons hoor. We having our guest who will be coming into the studio this morning. She's making her way into the studio. Ons sal eers vra hoe word die mense adres? Nee, dan vat ons het van daar af. Now why are you putting the Geingos as top jitas? En ouens, julle moet ook reg spel. That is not how you spell Geingop.
Is Geingop mos?
Huh?
G-A-I?
Is it not G-E?
You must open up his mic.
G-A-I.
Is it not G-E-I?
Geingop.
It's Geingop.
Julle sê Geingop.
Okay.
Why do you guys say Geingop?
No. It's good that you're teaching us
Yeah.
the correct way, but I believe that you are spelling it wrongly.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's G-E-I.
G-A-I-N-G-O. Geingop.
Okay.
Geingop.
Okay. We will. Thank you very much. We have our guest in studio here this morning. We have Dilokelwa. I need to say it a
Kelwa.
few.
Can we say Kelwa? Can I say Kelwa,
No.
please?
Dilo?
Ndilo or Ndilokelwa.
Can I say Dilo?
Yes, you can say Ndilo.
Dilo.
Hi, Dilo.
Kelwa.
Hello, Ndilo.
Morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Morning Mix.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone.
It is such a pleasure and an honor to welcome you here into our studio. Okay, just a quick question. Okay, you have to sit with the mask the whole show. I'm just asking.
I feel comfortable this way.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay.
It helps to see people's emotions.
Well,
Do you
will
feel
it
unsafe?
then. Sorry?
Do you feel unsafe if you don't have your mask on?
I think in context of COVID, not necessarily, but
Okay.
I think I do feel much more comfortable this way.
As nah.
Yes.
Dilo, thank you so much for joining us into the studio this morning.
Thank you.
I think as Namibians, when it comes to any given topic, it's always welcoming to have to have a healthy debate and to have healthy opinions about whatever it is that we agree or disagree about. And I believe obviously you've watched the show the other day, and as a result, you felt at the time that you needed to say or speak up about what you perceived as slanderous. So maybe we can obviously start the conversation off by asking how did it start off for you that you feel that whatever it is said, just give us an opening statement. Let's not be too formal about this.
Okay. I think it's really the use of specific language, right? That may be and is inflammatory. And that is also in some context also rooted in really prejudice and can be harmful also to a community of people. And I don't want to specifically say that word that was used. As we know, it was a derogatory term. And that is now the M word, right?
Morphe.
Well, that's exactly what I don't want to mention because, I mean, if
but it's okay, we can mention
we
it.
are sitting with someone that is from a different race and culture, and if they use the K word, that would also be quite offensive. So I wouldn't necessarily want to use that in context of explaining why that word is very inflammatory and is deeply harmful.
Okay.
And so I think my context was really when it wasn't necessarily that I was watching the show. The text just came to me and said, but I think this is very problematic. And I actually didn't realize that it wasn't journalists that were sitting here because. But at the same time, this is a media repository from where thousands of people really get their news. I do watch the shows. I used to watch it a lot when Merja was around. So
you're not watching it again? Because Maria is not here.
So basically, I'm just saying that you do have a very strong base of people that really follow the news. And in that sense, there is a level of responsibility in the way that we use language, not just in media rooms, but also across in the country, in parliament, in communal spaces, in companies, that could be harmful and also does, in a way, shrink the identity of a community of people that already feel very erased and they feel disregarded by our government, by constitution, by access to services. So I was taking it from that context to say, but no, I think there needs to be a response on this, or at least someone needs to check this, because it cannot just run amok and it cannot just be something that we continue to practice or exercise as a normal way of life, I think.
Ndila, I guess when it comes to this specific word morphe that you're referring to, and the reason why I use the word is because I do come from an upbringing, because I grew up in Central Karatura, Central Grootwinkels. So where there's always been a quagmire of different cultures. And what I love about where I grew up is that we were Hereros, Damaras, Wambus, Namas, Tswanas, everybody would frequent the big shops or grootwinkels. And since my childhood, and obviously I generalize now, the first gay people that I saw in my community were either Damara or Nama, okay? Not lesbian, men who are or act like women.
Okay.
And most of the times that even now, the gay friends that I have, who I grew up with, who are adults today, feel comfortable with the word being, they refer to themselves as morphe. So my question to you is the sensitivity that you have with the word morphe. I don't know if we can equate it to the K word that German can call me in a moment of rage in a bar at 12 o'clock at night. I do understand the sensitivities around how the gay and lesbian community is marginalized, but if we speak about that specific word, unfortunately or fortunately for me, I come from a community where the word in itself, morphe, is embraced by my gay friends and my lesbian friends.
I totally get that, but I think that that is also a false dichotomy that is being presented, right? Because, of course, yes, we have the Racial and Prohibition Act that actually prohibits these kinds of comments around K and, you know, just dehumanizing the dignity of a black class of people.
Yeah.
But now we also do have on the table the hate speech bill that would still be underway, that looks at all the other derogatory terms, not just around morphe or that specific word, but also really around misogyny, words that harm a woman or, that harm women's dignity and harm their reputation, and that could materially also harm their reputations. So at the end of the day, it's also that this kind of word and this kind of slander has been normalized. And I suppose your proximity and association to a group of gay men and gay friends, it's also fine. But at the same time, I think that there is still harm in the word that when it is carried. You or your friends may feel very comfortable, but if they go out into another space, they will not say now, because Neville is a friend of ours and we are comfortable with him calling us, you know, that word, that someone else now would also have the the same kind of playing field. So I think it's really around, let's really look at the harm itself, and let's look at the harm not in context of association, but just the general harm that it causes to someone's psyche, to someone's emotional and maybe even material well-being. Because at the end of the day, you may have that kind of a relationship with a few people, but that is not in context of everyone else whose lives has been also severely harmed by this specific slanderous words.
Okay, and I love to have this conversation. And guys, you obviously have your own opinions, and obviously we want hard conservative questions and comments that needs to come from here, as much as some of us do embrace, the narrative also. So maybe, I don't know, Kofi, if there's something that you would like to say?
Ndilu, first of all, thank you very much for coming on to the show. Did you watch the entire show?
Yes,
Okay.
I think I definitely got in considerable amount of content and info from the show from the last time.
I noticed on Twitter your video that you posted.
Yes.
It was about 45 seconds long.
Yes.
Did you watch the entire show before you posted that video?
Of course I did, and that's why I would not post the entire show itself, because you already have content on
Did you
Facebook.
notice that when in that 45 minutes where you basically had 45 seconds?
Dates, sir.
No,
Seconds.
45 seconds where you basically had me using the morphe word and what. Did you notice that prior to that in the show, Neville was actually using the word morphe too?
I know that he used the word first.
Because I found that video actually to be a little bit selective in terms of me. Do you think there might have been a racial problem with you?
I think that is a very, I don't know,
because it certainly came over across to me that it was very racist.
It's a very presumptuous position for you to take, because firstly, when I posted that video, there was no insinuation of race in that context.
Right.
My thing was around when you made that comment and everyone else started laughing. For me, that felt that the environment already condones that kind of language. But also, I did recognize that it did come from Neville first, but I'm not doing a scoreboard of
you never made a video clip
I'm
of
saying
that.
it's just
I did
these
make
two.
a video clip
Of
of that.
Neville.
In fact, I was going to post that yesterday already.
I
did
am
make
saying
a-
it's just you two.
It is right
Just a
here.
moment,
It's right here.
just a moment. Did you deleted that?
Yes, I deleted
Why?
the post because I wanted to come on to the show so that I
No, but
can.
why didn't you just leave it on?
Because I didn't want to.
Why not?
I didn't want to.
Okay, so in other words, you put something out there, you had a change of mind, you saw that there's going to be perhaps a problem, and then you took it off.
No, there was no change of mind. I didn't see that there would be a problem.
Okay, I would like to maybe just mention some other stuff. Neville, as a German Namibian, as a European African, right?
Yeah. When are you leaving this country?
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Never.
I have been called out in many a joking way, right, as Nazi, blokkop, Duitser, Shirumbo.
Hitler's a friend.
Ja, julle Hitler mense and all that. I honestly want to tell all the Namibians out there that unless it gets really personal in, let's say, like you mentioned, like in a bar or something like that, I actually embrace that because it allows me also to reflect on history.
Yeah.
And it also reflects on me as as a person that I don't take these things so seriously because I'm human, just like everybody else. So in terms of you being on the show, welcome. I actually applaud your courage, and it's nice to have you on the show. But I disagree with you. Okay.
Can I just ask you a follow-up question? When you reflect on history, which specific parts and which angle are you really taking the reflections of history from for you to say that you would not necessarily take it seriously? Because from what you were saying now, it's almost that there's an assumption in the way that people call you as a white heterosexual man.
You don't know that. You don't know if I'm heterosexual.
Well, I mean, then you can always.
You've already classified
You can always just make it clear for me. But my assumption is that you are white and you're heterosexual. Yes.
I don't want to divulge that.
Okay, well, anyways, as a white
Calvi's a
man
helicopter.
with as a white man with privilege,
You've already put
that's-
me in a box.
That's fine. As a white man with privilege,
What
you are
privilege?
almost a
What privilege do I have?
Let me just finish my
You
can I
are
just finish my thread of question? As a white man with privilege,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's almost like you are equating the way that people would call you as those many words that you just summed up
Mm-hmm.
right now to the history and context from why we would not choose the words around K and the historical context. So just clarify for me, which historical context are you bringing into this when you make your reflections?
Which historical context?
Yes.
On what word?
You just said now that you reflect on history, and so that allows you not to take those kinds
Yes, exactly.
of words
Look,
seriously.
Just because
so
I'm
what
a
exactly-
German, I'm not
So
a
which-
Nazi.
So which part of history are you saying it's the history of when the with the Nazis and the Germans? Are you speaking to that?
Of World War II, of course. I mean,
So you're not speaking to the context of Namibia that was colonized by Germans, that was colonized also by an apartheid administration, in which these words, context like morphe, like the K word,
But wait a
were
minute.
used
What are
very,
you
very
on
interchangeably to degrade a group of people and a class of people.
No.
And I don't understand how you also do not know that you do not have white privilege as a male in this country, where majority are black people, but
I'm a
the minority
minority.
are significantly disenfranchised
Can I-
by
can I-
whiteness.
No, come.
No, I think.
Just
just hold on a second.
Don't speak to your aggressiveness here.
What do you mean
Nee, wacht net
aggressiveness?
gauw. Wacht net gauw.
Unbelievable.
Wacht net gauw.
It's not
Ek wil net-
listen. It's literally again. This is what I'm saying.
Dilo?
Now, can
Yeah.
I just quickly clarify? This is what I'm saying.
20 seconds.
When we are looking at aggression once again, because this is definitely a stance that I'm taking against, especially myself being a part of a community who's constantly having to hear words like that, who's also constantly having to hear other words that, again, racially discriminate. And I'm coming into a space where you asked me, do I feel unsafe? And I was wondering, from what context are you asking? Is it COVID-19? Is it
No.
whatever? But my point is that I come into a space, and of course, very much aggravated because there's someone that is
You came
once again-
aggravated.
No,
Is
no,
that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is that you cannot then decide that someone cannot show aggression or aggravation when in that same context there is definitely a level of discrimination and a stretch in the way that my dignity, for example, in this space may be also affected. So we cannot now say now there's aggression and this and that. How many
Okay.
people already rage and they feel even you as a black man, Neville, and other people in different spaces and contexts,
Yeah.
someone cannot come and say, no, you are being aggressive, when in fact the context in itself actually brings you to that point where you have to defend yourself. And I suppose that it's reductive to think that everyone is aggressive when we are here sitting in a space having a discourse. And I cannot even say that this person is being aggressive if at any point they do
So
show
it's
that
okay if
aggression.
Neville uses the word morphe, but if I use it, it's a problem.
Yeah.
No, it's a problem on any
Right.
Okay, guys, quickly.
This is not a
Dilo.
sibling
Can I
What's
just point of order? Okay, the only reason why I was asking, do you feel unsafe, was
I
in
know it
relation
was
to
because-
COVID.
But I know that sometimes those questions get asked in a space and you
Dilo?
don't know what answer to give.
Yeah, I'm just making that very clear. I was just asking the question because of in relation to
Because
COVID.
of COVID,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wasn't asking it for any other reason.
No, it's
Mitch, do you have something to say?
No. Look, I understand where she's coming from. Oh, how should I address you?
she or they?
Oh, they. Okay, I understand where they is coming from. So, look, my whole thing is I first want to get to know why your point of view in life is like this and why you think like that, because I know a lot of people in your community that are not having a problem, or that most of them don't really have a problem with that. So I wanted to know from where you're coming from with that. So I want to know, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Komasdal.
Komasdal.
Yes.
Like Komasdal, ne?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What year did you move there?
I grew up in Komasdal my whole life.
Okay, have you seen gay people in Komasdal?
Not that I've seen gay people, because it's not something that you see with your... I have lived with gay people, with people from the sexual, gender and sex minority community.
Yeah, so I want to know, in your years, which gay person came and told you that they have a problem with being called Morphe?
It's not even in context of that. I think your answer
No, I just
is...
want to know. Did somebody come and complain to you?
My response to that is, if I answer A and I say, this person came to say that, no, they have a problem with that word, then what is your follow-up question to that?
Well, you didn't answer, so I don't have a
So
follow-up
that's what I'm
question
asking.
yet.
Yes,
if you answer me, I'll have a follow-up question.
I have had friends, I have had colleagues, I have had family members that have told me that we cannot use such words. What is your follow-up question to that?
Okay, you had family members that told
Friends,
you?
family members, colleagues, people
And
that I have
what
been,
age range were they?
It doesn't matter. Throughout
It
high
does
school,
actually.
from when I
I can tell you why it matters.
Why does it matter?
It matters because people that were born before you, in the late 90s, the only thing they could refer a gay person to was Morphe. They didn't have the they, them.
That is not even the same, because you are equating a pronoun to a slur word. You are equating a pronoun to a slur word. You
It's
ask
actually
me
a
my
prefix.
pronoun.
You just-
No, it's
you
not a
just use-
prefix.
it's a
It
prefix.
can
You
never be
use
a
it.
prefix.
Okay.
Let me ask you, why did you ask me whether it's she or a different pronoun?
Yeah,
Why did
because
you
I
ask
want to
me?
respect your pronoun.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it's a pronoun. It is not a that other word is a slander word. It can
No,
never
I
be
just
used as a
wanna know.
pronoun. Nobody goes into a room and says, "Hi, my name is Ndilokelo Antengwe. You can call me Morphe." There is no such thing. It is you
because-
go into a space and you say, "My name
Let me
is
just
Ndilokelo
finish.
Antengwe." You can
I've got a gay
refer to
friend
me
that
as me
doesn't
or
mind.
or she or they or them.
I just want to
truly
make my
have-
point.
Here's a question that came up. Are you in terms of, are you a representative for the larger LGBTQ community?
I'm a representative of my own identity within the
Okay.
LGBTQ community.
Oh,
I'm not
Right.
representing
I just
everyone.
I just think you're a racist, to be quite honest.
I think that kind of comment is something that I
I
would
saw
not
your video.
entertain.
I saw your video.
It's something that I would not entertain, because it feels like an insecurity in which you want to do a similar rivaling between whether I should have called Neville out first or you first or Mitch first. It has nothing to do with that.
Hindsight is an exact science, hey?
I'm not even using hindsight here. I'm just using pure logic.
Can we get back to what I was asking?
Huh?
Ik zal vergeet.
Okay.
You see why I ask you that question? Like, you were born 1999 something, 1998, 1999.
That has no
It does
relevance.
actually. That's what I'm trying to show
Okay,
you.
then
I'm
finish.
trying to
Then
show you
finish what you want to ask so that I can
Then
answer.
don't interrupt me though. Are we cool?
Well, you were making an assumption, and I was going to say that
No,
that's
I'm
irrelevant.
asking you, what is it between 1998 or 1999? When were you born?
Between that time.
Okay, cool. So I was close now. So this is the thing. What I'm trying to tell you is the people, if you're going to say family members, and I ask you the age range between the family members and what they were exposed to, most of the people that you are friends with are exposed to the era of them, they, and so on. And probably people like me, Neville, him, they were born way before that time. People only use, even your grandfather, if you go ask your grandfather now, what am I? He was not going to say them or they. He'll say just a Morphe. Because that's the only word they could use. That's the only word they could use. They didn't have this. So now that people are educated, with this information, and you come up with that, now they know they have to use these pronouns. Now they know they have to use, but it's not something you can dictate to them, because you didn't educate them on that.
My response
So without
to
educating somebody about what you prefer to be called, just like Kaufi told you now, I'm not a heterosexual male, but you just assumed it, and now that I assumed,
well, he's also not confirmed it. So
okay. Now that I'm telling, I just assumed yours, and you already were like, you're making an assumption. So that's what I'm saying. Don't just be ready to attack, because I'm saying,
not attacking.
Why do
yesterday,
you think,
what was happening yesterday in the studio was an attack.
Okay, guys.
But I'm not attacking.
Finish your point. I need
My
to read
point is
comments.
Why do you feel you can dictate speech?
I am not saying that I am here to dictate speech. I'm here to say that we must ourselves begin
If you say must, you
we
are.
must
Wait,
ourselves
answer.
we must ourselves begin to start unlearning the normalized speech that we've picked up, whether it is in the 90s or whether it is now in 2022. My question is for you is, what do you understand by the pronouns of she, they, or they, them? Because what we are talking about is gender. That is completely different from racial or gendered slurs, which includes the M, which includes the K, which includes so many other slurs that people are affected in specific communities. We are not maybe just talking about black people or people from a sexual gender and sex minorities. We also know that there are other communities. When we are using ableist slurs, when you're looking at someone that lives with a disability, you cannot go make other specific derogatory that is harmful to their personhood. That is that part that you do not get.
Okay, thank you. Let me quickly read some comments because the people are here on my back. Okay. The comments is so baie. And I'll just read it as I see it. Vedika Yere says, I love this woman standing by what she believes in. Unfortunately, too many people are cowardly to stand by what they believe. Roviera says, you came here to argue. You are clearly not able to have a healthy debate. Leonard and Guro doesn't have a problem with the Mofi word. I think it's an individual thing. This is what Vozia Alana Greenwood says. Mitch, what is the line of questioning there? Fra Doris. Lieve Hiskia, so you believe in koekstampere. She's a representative for the larger LGBTQ. Is she a representative for the larger LGBTQ community? This is what Dante Love is asking. Vanessa says it's the aggressiveness for me. Sy wil alleen praat, says Stephanus James. Dante Love says she is too angry to debate.
Wow.
Vedi Kaere says, no man, colleagues in the studio, you all are attacking the woman for having an opinion. This is what Vedi says. Senia say, yo, this madam is angry. Dante Lovo says, can we move on, please? Dilokelwa is on fire, says Valeala Mboli. Nancy Shapange says, the lady is angry. She will slap someone in the studio. Please don't slap me. Vedika, this is not very mature, gentlemen. This is what Vedi says. Tia Timothy says, why is gay right? Why is gay right to say, and other words are wrong to say? Mutumba says, the creation of pronouns are difficult. Isn't they to an individual? I watched Dr. Matt Walsh went to war with a gender activist on use of such pronouns. Mukuture hapo. Roviera says, this net so if you can call Kaufi heterosexual, he can call you racist for the video you chose to share. Where is the difference? Eugene Rowan says, it's a Mitch ook ne. Estomi said, the studio is hot, on fire. Who will walk out first? Okay, because we had a few people who walked. Relax, peeps, says Ellie. Neville, lees toch die comment en sê toch die cherry. Ons huil nie op die show nie. Mitch het laas gehuil oor die rock en ons soek nie sulke stories nie. Jaag die vrou uit en kom ons gaan aan met ons show. Oor die vrou het Mitch my gesê ek moet nie kom nie. What is the difference between gay and Mofi? Gents, we are going to get cancelled because of this interview. Can we answer the questions and not defect? Ek sal nog so 2 comments lees and then we can continue. I've been labeled homophobic, says Muhausi Boli. But I'm not one to make a fit. Everything offends the LGBTQ community. Yet we have no choice but to accept what they utter to act. Straight people, respect me and I will respect you. Jy kan gay sê, who is gay? Gay is new age, Mofi is old age, volgens Mitch. Jy kan, you who are, I mean, you're gay, and we openly speak to you about, about these issues. around the gay and lesbian community. What do you prefer yourself to? Are you uncomfortable with the word morphe? But I think in context that is the one question that I guess a lot of people are asking.
Yeah.
It seems that the community is easily triggered by any comment that is made, whether it's a joke.
Yeah.
Okay, probably there's no such thing as a joke whenever we speak about the community. What is there nothing to joke about concerning the community? Is there anything that I can say towards the gay and lesbian community that you can say, oh, that's a fair joke? Is there anything?
Can I just bring some context here? I want us to take a reflection, to take ourselves back to history, right? Because when we are looking at, for example, black people and our history, for years we've had to go through centuries of slavery, centuries of the apartheid, the colonialism, and that having to affect our dignity, affecting our livelihood, disenfranchising us, collectively, also consciously, also affecting our psyche, our emotional well-being. I mean, most of us now, in many generations later, we have still internalized the trauma of apartheid and colonialism. And then you find that later on, for example, in Namibia, post-apartheid, we have independence, we have a constitution that protects our rights. We have the Racial and Prohibition Act that protects black people's rights from comments and slurs that affect their dignity, that affect again and disenfranchises them. But then we have a community of people, sexual, gender, and sex minorities, the LGBTQ plus community, who have not actually endured and enjoyed those same constitutional protections.
Understand.
And so now we have a community that do definitely also be very much on a defense or on a offense mode, particularly because they do not have any specific power to exercise to say that I am going to open a case against Mitch or against Neville because of yes, maybe it may be a racial slur, but because of a slur of my identity. They do not have that. So of course then we will very much we will feel, a certain level of aggression. We will feel a certain level of triggering. We will also have that trauma because we do not have that power. It is only now that we have the sodomy law that is being tabled, that will be submitted in Parliament. Yeah. Only now, 30 years post-independence. And ask yourselves, where do these laws come from? 1977, 1975. Apartheid even way before that. Only now, even when we're looking at the hate speech bill, it was only last year. Sorry for that. Yeah. It was only last year when we had meetings around what can a hate speech bill actually look like, because we are not just looking at slurs of my specific sexual identity. We are also looking at my gender identity. We are looking at specific identity categories and markers that affect the way that at any point when someone makes a comment, or if I go into a space where, if it's mostly just heterosexual people that have enjoyed privilege over these years under our constitution, then I will feel undermined. I will feel intimidated. So coming back to the questions around jokes, I do understand, and I don't want to disregard the bonds and the social relationships that have existed over time for people to use that word amongst themselves, etc. I don't disregard that at all. What I'm saying that in the event that I step outside of that safe space, outside of that social bond that I've created with my friends, what do I have to exercise power in order to ensure that when I go into Informante Radio, or when I go into the Namibian House, or when I go into Parliament, that my dignity, once again, is protected under our constitution. So my stance is not to say you cannot make jokes, because at the end of the day, black people do not also make jokes about being gays or being this and that. We do not, because we also know that there is a law, there's a constitution that protects us.
We actually do.
Whether if you do that, that is totally up to you. But I'm saying
black comedians do.
It's fine. But what I'm saying is that there is something that you can step out from, and you can then go and exercise the law to say, No, but this person severely harmed my reputation, whether it's at a bar, whether it's in your company space, or whether you are experiencing specific levels of microaggressions, which is, by the way, what I have experienced coming into the space. And hence, you will have comments that this girl is angry, this person is what. I dare them to go into a space.
But they say the same about Kaufi. As much as they say about you, they say about not just about us. I mean, Vedi says that we, all of us, are extremely aggressive towards you. Shalako, wacht net 'n bietjie, wag 'n bietjie. Shalako says, why are you guys not calling out Kaufi for his aggression? So I guess everybody has an opinion here as to what is deemed as aggressive. Ask Ndilo if the other members are part of the LGBTQ plus community who are totally fine with referring to themselves as their peers, friends, as morphs, are they wrong? Do they in any way contribute to how the heterosexuals use the word to refer to? Gents, please do a research before bringing someone to studio emotionally. Dit lyk nie reg nie. Dis nie 'n debate nie. Dis 'n stry. It's okay sometimes ook om te stry. Come on. I think everybody feels, emotionally justified whatever he, she, they believe in. So I'm not always objective into what I'm saying, or you. Do you feel like, I know that sometimes I'm wrong about stuff. Do you feel that you're sometimes wrong about stuff?
We all are flawed in that way.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Look here, I think these are the type of comments that makes it difficult for people to be educated in stuff like this.
Which comments?
Because like comments like, if we are gonna have a disagreement on something, it means that I haven't emotionally do research on whatever community you are in. And I'm not just saying the community that you're in. I mean, it could have been somebody, a religious person sitting here, and people will just be commenting that way, like, why don't you should have educated yourself? So I'm saying it's this type of comments that makes us not like, it's like, why shouldn't these things be discussed? We need to know
it should be discussed.
It should be discussed, and there will be sensitive times around these topics. So this is where I wanted to throw this. We are confusing this whole thing. Is there a word for gay in Oshivambo?
Well, there's always
Preferably.
been
No, is there a word?
Acceptable.
I'm answering your
But
question.
That's the question. What is acceptable? Not according to her.
Well, according to who then? Because
maybe us.
Like,
according to who then?
All of us.
What do you
maybe
call
us.
a homosexual person or gay person?
So, well, there has been words even within the. I'm going to try to categorize it within the different ethnic groups, right? But even in the Oshiwambo or Awambo culture, there has been a word. It has been used as a slur here and there, but I suppose that it's also around the identity that they've decided to use that specific word, and that is really a shenge. So that is a word that's
the word
used,
that we know.
but we know also in the Oshiwambo culture how traditionalist and conservative it is, that the word was been adopted as a slur.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily hear Wambo gay men referring to themselves within the language itself as a shenge. So,
Shenge.
but it's different in different.
So
and
what
I
does
think
it mean? What does Eshenge mean?
it's the same as just gay.
It's
you
just
know?
gay, ne?
But
Yes,
but is
because
there
I
is
think
there-
what Neville was drawing from when he.
Why is it a slur if it means the same as gay? And
Because,
that's what the
no,
point-
gay is not a slur word.
Wacht net gou,
Gay
wacht
is an
net gou.
identitarian marker, right? So as Neville drew from his upbringing, the story around, the majority were Damara Nama. It is mostly that community that is also most accepting, and so therefore they have also perhaps also adopted a specific language within themselves where they call themselves specific to identity. Mitch,
Is there
what
a
you are
word like that?
confusing
Is
is
there a word like that?
identity versus a character a slur. Identity is very different from that. When we are looking at LGBTQ plus community, we are looking at lesbian, gay, bisexual, intersex, trans, asexual, and all the other different identitarian markers. But how people treat and how people call this specific community is then what makes the slur. So there is a huge difference. And there's also a difference between your gender and your sexual orientation.
Yeah.
I think what was important, and I think, yes, research is needed, but what's important is also to do research around what exactly is the difference between a slur, what is the difference between gender, because why we are so confused is because we do not have specific
don't
laws.
Say I'm confused. Now
No, I'm not saying you, I'm saying
I'm
saying
confused.
why we are. I said why we are.
I asked you a
Can I
question
just
and now
finish?
you're just explaining to me like I know
Can I
nothing.
finish quickly? I'm saying why we are so confused as a society, as a community in Namibia, is because we do not have specific laws to stand on to say, but this person used a slur versus no, but gay is not an offensive, it's not a derogatory term, but how you use it, you say, it is gay mensa. That is something that could be, seen as, but what are you trying to say?
Okay, now,
Okay,
let me,
Mitch, I need to read comments.
I didn't even make my
I
didn't make my point.
Guys, you know what?
I didn't make my point. That's the problem.
Hola.
Now it's just gonna start there.
Nee, kan jy dit in 30 secondes
Yeah, that's what I've
verduideliken?
always said.
Okay, say
The
go.
only thing I wanted to ask is there a word for gay in Oshiba?
Okay, because you asked it
I
before.
answered it.
No, listen, no.
I answered
You asked it before.
Yeah, just play still. Kom ek sê iets.
Okay,
Vader van Keetmans.
okay.
Is daar 'n woord vir gay in German? Die
Schwul.
Schwul. Okay. Is daar 'n woord vir gay
Schwul.
in heterotaal?
Nee, nie waarvan ek weet nie.
Okay. En damrataal ons sê kwaas, né? Is daar 'n woord vir gay anders as moffie in Afrikaans?
Nee, daar
Wat
is
jy
nie.
ken?
Vra vir jouself waar
nou
die
luister,
woord
wag,
van kom
luister,
in
wag.
Afrikaans.
Let him
Wag,
continue.
wag. Let me just
Get his
finish.
train of thought here.
Ja.
That's why you're
Gaan aan, moenie emosioneel raak nie.
Nee, ek is nie emotional.
Nee, jy raak
Just
nou
don't
emosioneel.
cut me off.
Nee.
Just don't cut me
Neville,
off.
laat hom praat.
Just don't cut me off.
Okay.
I want you to know, Neville, that it's not everybody that used the word morphe meaning in a race, in a slur.
Derogatory.
It's because they know it's a Afrikaans. As an Afrikaans means you say it's a morphe. Of Afrikaans means you say, okay, is she a morphe?
Doesn't mean it's a
It
slur.
just means are you gay?
Can I
see,
ask you where
but
that
like you
word
just
comes
said
from?
now, and Neville said it before. Just like you said it now, Neville said, if a person comes to me at a club and says Joe Murphy, he means it as a slur. But if somebody says, is she a Murphy? He doesn't mean it. He's asking a question like, because that's the only word he can use in his language.
I understand that.
Do you
Mitch.
know another Afrikaans word?
I totally
Yes or no?
understand that.
Do you
but
know another Afrikaans word?
Can I answer that just quickly, Neville? Just quickly. The reason why there is
But
no
quickly.
other Afrikaans word, because the word itself originates from Mofskap, which also means a castration of a sheep. Now, when we are looking at the historical context with colonization and apartheid, this word is only within specific countries or within specific districts. It's Namibia and South Africa. Why? Because we were colonized by white Afrikaans people. And so that word was used to slur male men, for being in sexual relations with other men during the time of apartheid. So that's why I'm saying there's history and there's context, there's weight that word carries. That is why
You
it
see?
only exists in Afrikaans.
You see now my point.
Not because there were no other words, because pre-colonialism, pre-apartheid, we lived in different communities where the word, whatever the context was, it existed. That's why I'm saying now, when you use that word in Afrikaans, there is historical context that is harmful.
Yeah.
So you cannot use that word whether
do you
you
understand
say
when I told
whether
you
you say this and that.
people
Where
that
does
were
the
born
word K
before
come
you
from? Where does
will
the word
use
K
that
come
word?
from? Where does the word K come from? So my point is to say, Mitch.
don't-
My
I don't-
point is
They
to
made
say
I don't know what racism has to do with it. I don't,
It has everything to do with it.
come on.
It has everything to do with it,
Global says this woman is confusing issues. How do you align racism and gay language in the same context? Racism was a system. Hulle sê ek het 'n groot neus, maar ek worry fokol nie. As jy gay of moffie is jy gay en moffies is die problem. Decent courtesy, ID keyword. Personally, this is what Jagan Kaiseb says. Personally, for me, it depends in what context the word moffie is used. Besides that, I shrug it off like Saki and we move on. This is what Jagan says, who is gay. Waar pas apartheid met die gay word? Vra Eugene Rowan Rhodes. This lady is really confusing racism and moffie. There's a huge difference, asseblief. Say Natalie, the gay community jokes on a daily. So if we're going to cancel one action, we should cancel the other. Say Roviera, you are being selective. Kofi is the one who brought in the racial aspect. That's what Vedi Kayere say. We actually do joke about being black, say Roviera. But why is it necessary to have a preconceived notion of how you would be treated, says Mohausi Boli. Asino Kambikiti says, can you please ask her the right word in Oshuambo? Okay, yeah, we obviously, we did address that. We don't want this energy in the studio. Gay, Mofi, and LG is the same thing, says Samuel Makale. Am I the only one who is of the opinion that gay men are more comfortable with their sexuality than the women who are lesbian? All the male morphies I know or have encountered are totally okay with it to an extent. This is what Doris say. Kalfie's aggression was triggered, say Ro. Every action has a reaction. Hey, yo mugu. Nou waar pas Simon Levitsky bloody swindler in this conversation. Yo mugu. Natalie says, never ever bring gay morphy person on show wat gevoelings sketch. Bring liewers vir Guru en Leonard as julle so graag wil morphies in studios wil hê. Nina Katangana, these things can be discussed and must be discussed, but there is a manner in which one can speak. Mitch, speak constructively. Koffie nog 'n sterk koffie? Vra Rowan Rhodes. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, there are so many comments here. Maria Eleka says, I find it strange that it's mostly heterosexual people that want to dictate what is appropriate and what isn't. Yo! That's what.
Can I ask a question to the colleagues, because I do have only about 10 minutes left for another.
Thanks.
So is there a relevant moral difference between racism and homophobia?
I think there is actually a difference, because racism was a system, and that was a struggle of a whole race.
And is homophobia not institutionalized either?
Just listen.
Okay, please finish.
Okay, so it was a struggle of a whole race. And I'm not even talking about the morals. I'm just saying it's a struggle of a whole people and a whole race, that people were actually just not being liked because of their skin color and all that. And they were deprived from certain things, like using a toilet, going in the bus with the same person. They would be killed just because they're black. They can't have a certain job because they are, and all that stuff, you see. So I'm saying it's just listen, and it was a whole system to even systematically put them back financially, break up the households. If you're a black lady, if you wanted a house in the United States, your man couldn't move in with you. Yeah, just listen.
Because I think you are going much further. So my question is the moral relevant difference.
Let me make the point.
I'm not talking about the system. I'm talking about moral relevant difference.
Listen, I'm just making the point. And these were people that struggled together. Is homosexuality a sexual preference or not?
My question is, why I'm asking if there's a moral... Listen. My question is why I'm asking if there's a moral relevant difference between racism and homophobia, because what you describe now is a class of black people. But even within that are different identities and markers of people that existed. So we cannot necessarily say that there's a different moral difference between racism and homophobia, because black victims of racism are also homophobic. I may have been a black victim of racism sitting in the times of apartheid and institutional racism, but I can also be homophobic. And I'm not saying necessarily if you use the slur, the M or other slurs within the sexual gender and sex minorities that you are now homophobic. I'm saying that there is no moral difference, because at the end of the day we are still looking at the dignity, we are still looking at the way that people were treated, how people were regarded. So even the class of people that you are talking about, their houses were destroyed, this and that, people were also targeted because of their identity, even within this racialized colonial institution. So that is why I'm asking whether there is a moral difference.
Okay, Mitch, you had your point. Yeah, Mitch. Jesus, you also need to obviously. Kofi, do you have an opinion here?
No, I've got nothing.
Okay, I think from my side, personally, I don't feel that there is a moral difference. I do personally feel that you can't separate the two. I just have an issue about, because, I guess black, white, yellow, gay, straight, lesbian, we are social human beings. There are certain things about me. For instance, the only problem that I have with this is the sensitivities around it. That I feel that there's nothing I personally never can say off the cuff to relating to the community. And I say once again, Dilo, I've been in a very fortunate position that, the gay and lesbian people that I have in my life embrace who I am, what I am, and it's a mutual respect that we have for each other. Again, I personally do feel that there seems to be too much sensitivities around everything around the community, what you can say and what you can't say. I looked the other day, I looked at the Grammy Awards. I see that, and I didn't know that you don't have best male, best female artist at the Grammy Awards anymore. It's basically, what do you call it? Gender neutral award. There are stuff like a 3-4-year-old child who's raised genderless. There are certain issues about that is completely new to me that just doesn't make sense to me at this stage. I think with my time in the studio here with Maria as an activist and what she shared with us concerning, the community, I've learned a lot. And she also learned a lot about not to being too sensitive about certain issues. It's not, and it hasn't always been easy. But it's an ongoing learning process. I'm willing to learn as much as you are willing to be more tolerant also.
Thank you so much for that comment, Neville, because I just wanted to add that language evolves also, and this is also because I can speak in context of my lens and my identity as a non-binary, as a lesbian, and also as a person that would identify as female.
Dilo, sorry, Gogo.
Yeah?
Ek moet jou vra.
Yeah.
When did you realize that you are lesbian?
By my
what?
book.
Huh?
By my book.
Nee?
By my book.
Nee, say net, man.
Nee, as ek vir jou sê, dan jy nie die
What
boek.
is the book's name?
The Chronicles of a Non-Binary Black Lesbian Namibian in Love.
Hier is 'n lang moerse naam.
It's a statement also.
Nee.
What I wanted to say is, because language evolves in this context of my identity, I could go to another space, to another country, and then also be limited in my understanding, in my vocabulary, and in my concepts around what identity is, and the language that I'm supposed to be using to expand it further. And I think if I'm in another country, I should also be willing to learn and understand. But if I use a specific language, if I use a specific word, it may be a slur. It may be also harmful to a community of people I was not otherwise exposed to. And I think bringing back your context is really to say, yes, that's why we have so many workshops around the country. We have so many talks, conferences, coming to radio to just demystify that.
Yeah, I understand.
Because we know that language evolves, but there is also weight that it carries in a specific community. And yes, even amongst my friends, we would perhaps be more tolerant, or we would normalize specific words only because, this is the language that we've grown up for a long time. But what exactly is it that we have to exercise our power in a case where these slurs become deeply harmful, or because these slurs have been institutionalized, you don't know when exactly you need that armor of the law to protect your identity. So I think that I definitely agree with what you're saying. I appreciate that. I also do want to say that let's from this conversation also try to at least put in more effort in trying to understand the context of a community whose lives have already been degraded by so many other issues and aspects in order to ensure that we do not have another person that is from the community or otherwise having to come and speak, not for a whole community, but speak from a perspective of how do we then protect the identity and rights, even just in small talk and discourse like this.
Mitch?
Yeah, don't ask me anything if I'm not going to finish it. So just continue.
Die mensen catch feelings is on in the studio.
That's what you're gonna say. I knew you were gonna go there.
Nee.
It's not catching feelings. It's just that I had to make my point, and we were gonna make almost the same point. And I was getting there, and then you just cut me off. So I don't know. So just go on. And I agree with you. The last part you even said that people have to be more tolerant and do research on certain stuff. And my only point that I actually had was, the people that need to be changed at this point, and the people that will still be using those words, like you won't hear that word from me. You won't hear that word from Neville. He can educate himself.
Ik het jou nog nooit zo hoor blaas nie. Ik het jou nog nooit zo hoor blaas nie. You've been in the studio for 3-4 months, nee. Jy blaas eindelijk. So we finally found something that triggers you.
Like what?
Nee, I don't know.
Interruption and not letting him allow to finish. I would also get upset. Mitch, I would also get upset.
Nee. Kom
you guys think you're smart because you can talk above somebody or across
Mitch,
somebody.
just because people...
You just do that.
You know what I've learned here? Just because somebody speaks the most doesn't mean they're always right.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and they thrive off that. So
Yeah. Kijk.
Water off a duck's back.
I suppose that is just an insecurity that displays itself in the space.
Yes, man. What do you mean insecurity?
Yeah,
I was just agreeing with you.
Of course, because I mean, that's definitely just
There
an
we go
insecurity.
again.
Are you insecure? Are you insecure?
I'm referring to
Why
this
are you
person.
here? Is it because you're insecure?
No, I'm here because I have to come and clear the discourse around
Why couldn't you just leave the post up?
Why not?
Okay, why couldn't you just leave the post up? Why did you come? Is it
first of all,
insecurity?
no, it's not an insecurity.
Now let me also explain.
It's because I came back into this space so that I can try to demystify. But I'm not actually.
That's what I'm doing.
I'm not going to feel guilty about a
insecurity.
level of insecurity of men who have already been provided a space to constantly speak. And now that someone is in a studio to speak about these issues, all of a sudden I am speaking the most. When you already have the platform,
so were we supposed to debate or you come and talk?
Have the whole studio.
Were you supposed to come talk and we listen, or was it supposed to
as
be
it was
a dialogue?
introduced, there's a room for healthy debate and healthy opinions.
Okay,
so
now can I get my chance to do that?
Sure. No, I suppose you can go ahead and.
Okay, so now I just want to do a closing statement. Like, I agree with you. I'm just saying the people that have to be more educated on that is the people that are going to use it because of our age difference, and that's the only thing they know. So I think
that's
just
what
kindly
I
and politely
agree with
go
you.
to them and educate them on that. Because I know the pronouns. I've taught myself a few of them, so
Yeah,
I'm cool with that. And that was my only argument.
I agree with you on that, and I
Let's
welcome
not dictate
also.
speech.
Yeah.
And let's just try to educate people. That's just it.
I wasn't also here to dictate speech. I was here to say that in our speech, we must also be very careful, and we must also be cognizant of how harmful and what weight it does carry in a specific community or for ourselves. That's why we have hate speech bills, because we know at the end of the day it does carry weight. Otherwise, we just say everyone can talk as they want. You know, white people can talk as they want, black people can talk as they want, heterosexual people can talk as they want.
Yeah.
But in a democratic, constitutional governed country, we cannot just go and run amok with our comments as we please.
I think everybody should talk like the one. Nobody should
I don't
take
think so.
speech, but people should be more kind to people.
There are
when
so
they're
many
talking
black
and be
people
polite. That's just it.
who have been severely harmed, who still, they work in other spaces, they get called the K word, they experience microaggressions, but they don't know that there's a law that can protect them.
And now
they don't know
educate
that
them.
the policies within their companies are supposed to protect their
Just
dignity.
educate
And
them. That's the thing.
that I don't disagree with you. Yes, you can educate them, but I'm saying that there's majority of people. You don't even have the access. You know, majority of people that travel to town are black women. They are poor. They come into towns. They work in spaces, and then you have someone that degrades them. Where will they have that access to the language? Where will they have? So that's why we have people that come to studio that occupy different spaces. We have trade unions. We have this and that, to ensure that whether it's hate speech, whether it's this and that there is a certain level of protection or umbrella under which they can experience a sense of dignity for themselves. So I also
So now
welcome.
that we gave each other a chance, now do you see that we agree, that we're on the same point?
I only welcome what you did with asking me what my pronouns were, because usually come into a space and people just, they say, or whether you are they or he or whatever. So thank you for that. It means that maybe you did do some research.
So
I think-
on the busy, I get
On se see op dieselfde bladsy, man.
What do we differ at the gate? What do we differ at the gate?
We're not supposed to be on the same page. We're supposed to.
I don't agree with people dictating speech. That's just me. and I, Kaufi, talk like you want
then
to
why
just
do we
know
have the
the
Racial and
consequences.
Prohibition Act?
You talk like you want to just know your consequences. You talk
I
like
don't
you
have
want to just know
consequences.
yours. Why don't you have? Why is accountability? Why doesn't
It's not
accountability
about that,
apply to
because
you?
I didn't do anything wrong
So you
coming
can
to
say
talk about
anything
and
to him, and you
demystifying.
think there is no law that can protect him.
What do you mean?
Is there a law that can protect him?
From
If
what?
it-
Against
if,
what?
like, if you're
When
gonna
the
say
law
he's
is
racist,
literally
if you-
designed around his identity
Can
as a
I-
male, white, privileged man.
What law is
Unbelievable.
designed that way? What law?
Unbelievable.
Our law and our
Defend
What
yourself.
law?
Why do we
law?
have
Hallo,
apartheid?
hallo.
Why did we have
Duitser.
apartheid?
What law?
Duitser,
Why do we have apartheid?
kan jy jouself net defend
why
asseblief?
did we
No.
have
We
apartheid?
still have
Nee,
apartheid law.
this
Mitch,
thing that you are
why
being
did we
told
have
that you are
apartheid?
privileged,
Apartheid law now.
white,
Name one.
male. We are also tired of you people.
Yes.
Ask, why
And
did we
here
have
I am.
apartheid? Apartheid was designed for.
Apartheid is
Acknowledging.
over, my girl.
I'm asking, but
I'm
why
not
was it
agreeing
there?
or
Why did it
disagreeing,
exist?
Neville.
Yeah,
I'm just
shut up.
acknowledging.
Like that.
Let's all talk together. I mean, that's all right. One thing is for sure. I will not be buying your book.
I don't care. Wait,
Why is it? my
don't
girl
buy
is
it.
there?
Don't buy. I don't care.
I'm just saying. Do you understand what I'm saying? You should be free to say that. That's freedom of speech.
No, that's that.
You have to
Yes,
be
he can
free
be
to-
free
just
to
like you're
say
free
he's
to
not
say that.
buying the book. It's not whatever. He can be free to say that.
Yeah.
I
So
don't.
he must not be labeled that he's
Doesn't mean
homophobic
anything.
because he doesn't want to buy your book.
No, that is something that I would not do because he did not say I will not buy your book because you
Because
are a
you are-
lesbian. He just said I won't buy your book for whatever insecure reasons that they are. Anyways, my ride is here.
I want you to go to a security guard and tell him you're insecure.
Why should I do that?
Yeah, just do that because you just throw around that
Doesn't
word
make
like
any
nothing.
sense. It doesn't
you
make
throw
any
it around
sense.
like anything.
It's not about throwing it around. It's being in spaces in context of being in spaces with men or white males and understanding how they do also
White males.
present themselves as a specific figure or they have so much clout and space
So
on in
if
which
Neville
they can
stands up
navigate.
now and walks out of the studio, he's not insecure. But if Kaufi does it, he's insecure.
That is a hypothesis that you are making.
I'm just
that
saying,
did
if
not even
Kaufi
take
walks
place.
out now, you'll say he's insecure.
If he walks out, if you walks out, I would say you are either insecure or you are immature or
You
this
see,
and that.
now
It
you're just
doesn't
throwing
matter.
it around. You must just go
I'm
around.
not throwing it around.
Go tell the TV it's insecure
That
because it's
doesn't
there in
even
the
make
corner.
that. You are not even making any sense.
I'm just
Mitch.
telling you, you don't make sense
No,
throwing
you are not
throwing
making
around
sense.
that word.
Mitch, you are not making sense, and I
You-
think
why are
taking-
you throwing around the
I
word?
think taking that position
Why
and
are
trying
you throwing
to
around the word then?
trying to
Dilo?
twist things, I think it's
No,
just
I'm
very
not twisting
immature.
it.
It's
Dilo.
very immature the way that you are
Nah,
that you are
you're just
hypothesizing.
insecure. You're just insecure.
Of
Dilo.
what?
You're
Of
just
what?
insecure.
Of what? I came into a space where it's male sitting here. I came into a space and I came to provide discourse and demystify the specific words that we are talking
Say
about.
white males.
What is insecure
Say
about
white
this?
males.
There's only one white male here. What is insecure about someone coming to take this specific stance?
Dilo, somebody was asking
You
me.
said it.
Somebody was asking before you go. Ne? Somebody on the stream was asking. We finally found, because we've been looking for a presenter, female presenter, if you might, for the longest time. And somebody on the stream said, we finally found our female presenter. Can we ask her to come in every day?
Send me my contract.
Dilo, listen.
I think Kaufi doesn't agree.
Listen. Nee, we don't, because we're not here to agree with each other. That's not the premise of sitting here. Dilo, once again, thank you for coming into the studio. Okay. For me personally, as much as polarizing as this sounded for some people here on the stream, I am extremely thankful for some positive comments that also came out here. I've learned a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know what you take away from this, but for me personally, it was not the wrong decision to engage you on the specific topics, and it is a tough topic, a very polarizing topic that we continuously will have to address. But thank you once again. I don't know if you have any last words that you would like to.
No, thank you so much, Neville, and thank you to the team for bringing me onto your show. I think it was necessary to come and demystify the discourse, and putting out the tweet was part of trying to understand exactly which angle and which take to really comment on that. But I suppose because the platform was provided, it's very useful to expand that, because it deepens really our democracy when we allow for debates and we allow for really discourse to take place on sensitive and very, very controversial topics that people would otherwise shy away. So thank you so much for the platform. Very much invite me over for other kinds of discourse, because I can sense that there's so much that is now.
Calvin, kyk jou so. The moment you said invite me, Calvin's like. Jy worry nie.
You are insecure, Neville.
Huh?
You are insecure for asking Calvin that.
I need.
You are insecure for asking Calvin that.
Nee, but baie dankie. Thank you, Mitch, né?
Ja, jy laat lag my man.
Ons is braas.
Daar is 2 topics wat ek ken wat Calvin nie moet wees.
Liewe Jiskia vra Calvin, is jy alright?
Ek is 100% reg.
Alright, thank you then. Thank you to everyone.
Cool,
Dila, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Go and, if you want to, go and watch the show. Jy wil nie gaan kyk nie.
Please download the show, man. And take 45-second clips of Calvin.
Oh, wow. Ek sê julle nee.
Jy kan weer hier kom sit.
Kom sit hierdie kant. This was all worth it. I loved the show today. Monica Lewinsky says, never again.
You guys may
Leicester.
Oh
You guys who have been loyal listeners and viewers of the MMC show for many years have known that the level of fights that we've had here, this is what we used to have, okay? And that is maar nou net wat het is. Ek en Maria and Cubase and Jay Calvi many a times would walk out of here. Yes, man. Ja, ons het gebaklie vandag. This is your first ever show, Mitch, where you've been visibly triggered.
I wasn't triggered.
No.
You just want to make use of that word. You just don't leave that narrative.
Mitch,
leave it.
I've been triggered.
No, I wasn't.
Maria's been triggered.
I was.
Cubase has been triggered.
Okay.
I believe you've been triggered.
Now I have to accept.
There's nothing wrong with being triggered.
Now I have to accept it because you're saying it.
Okay, sorry. Okay, now you have to accept.
I'm just saying, if you're not going to make me finish my point, it is going to look like I haven't made a point. You understand what I'm saying?
Kan ek iets sê as jy klaar gesê? Nee. Kan ek iets sê?
So I'm saying, if I'm talking like when I was talking about the system and us not being able to, we shouldn't compare a whole race struggle with somebody's sexual preference. It was the same point she made. Now, because she just spoke over me, you just decided, okay, now Mitch is triggered. I'm triggered because you didn't allow me to finish my whole sentence, and that's what's been happening ever since I started. So now somebody else looks like they're smart because they can just pronounce words nice. And they talk too much. Stupidity right there. Somebody that can't decide their gender cannot tell me about insecurity.
Kan ek maar praat?
Yeah.
Can I respond to that?
Yeah.
Mitch, I have an obligation here in the studio, and not what you have to agree with at this moment in time. I have an obligation in the studio as the anchor to ensure that when there's a debate going on, that whatever is said in a certain time frame, you need to get your point across, so that the next person, whether it's me or you or whatever, even if it's what I say, okay, or even if it's what you say, Calvi, get your point across thoroughly so that we can move on. Mitch, with all due respect, there was a time when I stopped you, where I see you are regurgitating the same thing over and over again. You're not getting to the point. You keep on saying the same thing over and over again. I'm not here to just to agree with you because you are my co-presenter, because she's not the enemy who was here in the studio. Okay, so my and this was as a referee, I could see you regurgitating the same thing over and over because you're not getting to a point. Okay, and that is why at a certain point I was like, Mitch, okay, you made your point. But you, even at the time when I was telling you, okay, now continue, you kept on saying the same thing. And that is the thing that we need to call each other out here. Everybody is calling us out, and we do call out everybody here on the show.
Yep.
But you need to pace yourself if you are busy talking. What am I busy saying? Am I saying the same thing in English as I think in Afrikaans, or vice versa? That's all I'm saying. Learn from it. Okay? Jay Warriso also Neville is not a good moderator, not impartial at all. That's Al's opinion. You understand? And I can't sit here and take, you understand,
I just feel like you didn't let Kalfi finish and you didn't let me finish. And,
okay.
And if you're gonna, if I'm gonna be interrupted, I'll go back to the same thing, and that's why I'll be saying the same thing over and over. You see, and this is the same thing that I'm saying. So if somebody says a word like, and it doesn't make sense, like insecurity, just because I have another opinion, and you just say like, oh, you're triggered, and now we have a whole argument about triggery while I was supposed to make my point. So let's just leave that. Let's just leave that.
Remember, we are already past time, but we need to vote the.
I think the votes are done. The votes are done.
And also the top cheetah. What?
Top cheetah. And Mugo of the week. Mitch, I don't know how do we do this?
I will just end the. I'll just post the results.
Yeah, just quickly just post the results. Want hierdie ding het ook gevries hierso. Trickery, says Stephanus Jameson and yes. Mitch, you are disappointing our agenda of what is happening here. Maria says, clearly it was the assumption that she came to the show for relevance, fame, that I was referring to check her credentials. You can't get the point if you are being interrupted in a limited time. Okay, Mitch Taimofi van Jurgen says you need to come out of the closet. What is your take on that? What's going on? So we can't get the results.
I'm throwing the results out.
Oh, okay. Mitch, that was below the belt. She knows, and we know our gender and identity. It's insecure that tries to trump on others. Okay. Someone who can't choose their gender out of pocket. Oh, is that what out of pocket means?
Does say voting has ended. Yes,
and then he's given a public platform to air how
top
irresponsible
cheetah.
his speech is. Flabbergasted.
Top cheetah of the week is Hage Geingos.
Okay, so Hage Geingos is the top cheetah of the week. And who is...
Well done. Congratulations.
And who is the Mugu of the week?
I think it was Monica Geingos.
Huh?
No, the Mugu of the week must be a different voting poll. Monica lost against Hage.
Monica lost
But
against
I'm
Hage.
so glad that it stays in the family.
And who's the Mugu of the week?
We have that.
Huh?
Simon didn't I published it? Just check.
No,
Here we go.
Mugu
Mugu of the week is no. You've now asked King to vote for Mugu of the week.
Yeah, I published the poll. Show results.
All right, I've got my Mugu already in.
Votes are done.
Kalfie het klaar sy Mugu of the week.
That was very easy. that was baie maklik.
So we don't have a Mugu of the
We
week.
actually have.
And who is it?
No.
I just published the polls now.
No,
But-
you've opened up a voting poll for Mugu of the
No,
week.
it was open already.
Oh,
People
okay.
voted.
Yeah, Vedi says, my vote goes to all three of you gents. We are the Mukhus of the week.
Mukho of the week, thanks for voting, is Ndilo Kelva.
Is that what the poll says?
There we go.
Okay. That is what.
Which is actually interesting because, you know, we mustn't forget about Abed Bishop Hishoono.
Okay. What did Bishop?
Oh, we didn't put him on, Bishop.
No, he's on.
We just had that story.
He's on.
What bishop is it?
It's Abed Bishop Hishoono, Simon Lviv, the swindling guy.
Nee, hulle moet vir Simon Lviv uitlos.
But Ndilo Kelwa is Mukho of the week.
Okay.
Now we're so happy to announce that.
To me, it's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
It was easy to see anyway.
Okay, guys.
Thank you so much.
So much. Sorry, and we got a lot of comments that we shouldn't have these serious topics on a Friday, Neville.
No. It's true.
No, we've got to respect our viewers' views
Yeah,
and
yeah.
opinions, and we take that to heart. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, we do take that to heart, and because as we say, none of us can sit here and take any comments and opinions too personal. I will obviously not. It can only be. We can only better ourselves as we go forward. So, guys, thank you so much once again for joining us here on the Morning Mix on this beautiful Friday. Dat was lekker geweest.
Was nice, nee?
Ek het dit geniet. Ek, you know what? For what it's worth.
Mohau says, nou wil ek glad nie meer werk.
What is it? Dion Chinzel said Mitch made a new poll and just added Dilo. That's low of you. See? That's what they're going to do.
Guys, thank you so much.
Have a nice weekend.
Wat maak julle die naweek?
Och, nou, ek gaan eers nou, ek weet nie, I'm just going to take it easy and enjoy the rain, I guess.
Daar sê.
My family and my friends.
Ek sien die son kom uit hierso. Mitch?
Oh, yeah, that's what I had van die son.
I don't want the sun to come.
Me, I'm going to be out this weekend. I have a performance at a restaurant. And Sunday, I'm going to be Sunday sessioning at Biggs. And yeah, it's my birthday on Monday.
I'm looking forward to that, Mitch.
Are you looking forward to kom stop hierdie ding hierso want ek sien hier is weer whatever ja. Guys, thank you so much. Have a blessed weekend. We will be seeing you guys on Monday and for more
stay tuned.
Polarizing topics to discuss. Sharp.
Okay. I don't wanna control ya. Really, I just want to show ya how much of a queen you could be if you put on the crown so royal. Don't you wanna be a better you? Don't you wanna be a better you? Girl, you the one, but don't you wanna be times two? Why you walk around like the only one with a broken heart in the streets? Take it easy, my darling. Stop cropping yourself out the picture, please. Stop farming, you just need a little patience. Mommy, you a star in the making. Now teach me about the ladies, so we can have a conversation. I don't wanna control ya. I don't mean to control ya. I don't wanna control